radio world. See what we got. See how y'all thinking, how y'all feeling today. We're gonna be putting this thing on live. Let's see if I can get this thing. Let's see. Okay, so we got this thing, got this question up here. So so anyway, thought I'd come on here today. Okay, so we're here. Here we are. Here we are. Somebody coming on. Hope y'all doing good out there. Feel free to hit the comments, hit the likes. Let me know where you're coming from today. See some folks gonna be coming through today, so let's see what we're working with. Hope y'all doing all right. Hope your day's all right. Weather-wise, it's kind of chilly where I'm at, so hope y'all doing good though. Feel free to converse. Yo, what's up? How you doing? What's happening? Thank you for coming through. Welcome aboard. Doing this platform thing today, so see what we got. How's your day going? Tell me where you coming from. What's the word? What's the word? What's happening? You know, I don't know. Look like a cat. Looks like a cat. Anyway, do you have any questions? Tell me where you're coming from today, and let's touch base. Doing a live stream today, so let's see what's going on. Feel free to hit the poll, hit the question, see what we got. Gonna be on for a little while, so let's just see what we're working with. Welcome aboard. Let's see what's up. See, people started trickulating, so feel free to let me know where you're coming from. Nobody's coming through. Okay. The poll just started up so far. Most people don't think so. I think he has faced some backlash. I think there's definitely been some kind of pullback. But anyway, born here today. Don't know if I'll be on tomorrow, but I think I'll come on today just to see if I can live skip a day. Done quite a few live streams, so we're gonna see what's up. We're gonna see what's up. Be done with you know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope that y'all done gotten out, got some nice weather, and hope that you're enjoying and see what's going on. The LeBron James question is he facing a backlash because he went at Stephen A. Smith? Stephen A. Smith had a big commentary on Gilbert Arenas' show, and he said LeBron was out of pocket. Dwayne Wade kind of alluded to it too. He did an interview with Carmelo Anthony. It's still been a pretty divisive issue and not a good look for LeBron James to me. And how far can you go as a parent when you just look pretty ridiculous, especially in a professional capacity? So let me know where you come down with it. We're taking questions on this, so let me know. Feel free to let me know. See what we're working with. See if people can come through. See what we're working with. I'll be on for a little while. I'm just gonna see if anybody comes through with the questions and answers and see what kind of vibe we're getting in here. So touching base. Be on for a little while today. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like coming through, feel free. Let me know how your day's going. See what the vibe is like. I can never get these things right, and so YouTube sometimes let me people know. So let me know if you are available. Send out the messages and the links. We just in chill mode today. Mm-hmm. So far, a pretty laid back day. Coming to you live. Mm-hmm. So put this thing on real quick. Okay. Send out some links. So we'll see what we got. Mm-hmm. Be on for a little while. Sorry everybody's going today. Hope everybody's having a good day again. Welcome to the weekend, middle of March. It's hard to believe March Madness is going on. We got basketball, politics, planes. Be safe. Everything. Be careful. Everything's going on. So it was pretty loaded, heavy time. So we're just gonna be in chill mode. People to come on through. Thank you for coming through. And feel free to throw your comments and whatever you gotta say. I'm gonna be on for a little while. I'm gonna see what kind of rapport we get. So we'll determine how long I'm on today. Gotta check something real quick. Yeah, I was talking about the NBA. I was talking about, boy, that was funny last night with Denver beat the Lakers, but the Nuggets had to struggle. I'm like, man, Jokic is not the MVP. Mm-mm. Can't struggle like that though. Mm-mm. Not a good look. Anyway, just chilling right now. See what's going on. Got to decide what I'm gonna have to cook for dinner tonight. And I've got some vegetarian, vegan options, so let me know. Just trying to stay comfortable today. That's all. Mm-hmm. Probably catch a movie or something later. So yeah. Hmm. Kind of wonder if somebody flashed the conversation. We shall see what we're working with today. Sometimes I get these things right, sometimes I don't. I never know who's gonna come through. So we have different topics and discussions, and so we just see what's up. But see what we're thinking about today. Mhm. Took just a minute. Somebody else hit the conversion. 75% say no. I'd be wishing that people come on here and tell me why they think he isn't. I do think. Is it because you don't like Stephen A. Smith? What's happening? How you doing? Now tonight I'm gonna definitely be on your stage name so I can get this thing to check out your videos. Take that one name, be on it. I was trying to last night. I forgot sidetracked last night. I'm not sidetracked tonight. Had a busy day yesterday. Anyway, holla, talk to me. What's on your mind? I know you got something to say, so feel free. There's a lot of different thoughts and takes out here, so feel free. free, don't hesitate. It's a mixed bag. I mean, Kawhi Leonard looking well when he play. You know, he Kawhi Leonard. If you've ever, I'm doing good to see you. Kawhi Leonard. If he ever plays a full season, he's the only dude I think could come back and people forgot how great he was. If you ever seen the movie Above the Rim, Leon's character was Thomas Shepard. He played college, played high school basketball, and he just stopped because his brother, his guy, was unalived, and but he was that dude. That's Kawhi. Kawhi is that dude that a lot of people just don't remember because he don't play much. It's a shame too, because when he's on, Harden has had moments, but Norman Powell has been a revelation. But I with Tyronn, I just don't know. No one is talking about them. No one is looking at the Clippers at all. They're seen as an afterthought. It's a nice check you in story. So Zubox is good, but they just don't play consistent, and their defense is lacking, and they just not consistent. Yet Tyronn Lue got them. That's it. They could be interesting, but right now I'd say the season is better than what expected, but no one is expecting much. Good to see you, Charlene, and I did see your comments. I went over some of the comment section, so I got them. Yeah, they're a very interesting situation, and I don't know what that means because no one has no expectations for him. I mean, Harden is playing better than he is, and Kawhi is actually playing, but they lost a close game the other night. I don't know who they lose to the other night, so it was kind of a bad loss. They're one of those kind of teams. Yeah, they get in the playoffs, but no one's got expectation. Now I was addressing the one about the. I saw your statement with him too, me. Yeah, I saw that. I just was putting them out there. I put out random different topics. Some of those videos been sitting there for about a month, so but I did a video. I've got some stuff I do that's in the can, so it's all good. There's no wrong answers, it's just your thoughts and takes. That's all. So, well, the problem with Ready for the World is they pretty much sounded like what was happening at the time. A big Prince influence, a Michael Jackson influence, 80s influence. And then, yeah, I know the M2 Me song. It just didn't get the same buzz though, especially not compared to Atlantic Star. It was a under R&B song in the hood. It was bigger around our way than it was in general. But that's all. I thought Red for the World had a long time coming was my jam. They had a couple cuts. That's a great question because I think I did that as one of my future questions. You gotta say Bochi because he won in different places. He wherever he went, and he didn't have what you call a stack situation. Datori would be right there because he did a great job in Atlanta and obviously with the Yankees, but didn't do much with the Dodgers. See, so that's a well, he had that Dodgers job. He had all that and it didn't pan out. So, but Bochy though, man, he take Bochy anywhere he go. That's kind of funny too because they were both former catchers, and Bochy sucked as a baseball player. Torrey was a good baseball player, really good. But Bochy made a for it as a manager. He's the truth. Even though Texas had a bit of a hangover last year. That man goes everywhere he wins. So that's a good question. You get the same amount of rings, but it's just that Bochy, it's what I used to say about Billy Murray, or I'd say about Sparky Anderson. But Bochy, he got it like he got it going on. I mean, when you can do what he can do, a real big way. But rings don't always just tell the story, but you gotta win like that, and he wins. He gets a lot out of it, you know. But it's close though. I like them both for different reasons. Joe just fit the Yankees perfectly though. He should have retired a Yankee for good. So good question though. That's what I'm saying. And then you win. You got a contending team. I mean, that's why I gotta give it up. He's the one of the two. Of the two. That's a good question though. But I gotta say Bochy though. And I like Tory more, but I gotta say Bochy. He did the thing. Because they don't want you to say nothing. And that came out. That came out in one of them things that if you a student and you speak out, you know, they not trying to have freedom of speech no more. That's martial law. That's what Trump's administration is pushing. That's why when folks don't act like they in shock of this mess. That's what they want. That's what dictators are about. And that's a sad reality. They think it's a privilege to come over to America and to go to their whack, overrated colleges, and they pimp money off of you. And you see how dumb he is because you see, hey, you're gonna need that that young man's money, people's money. They're gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough sell because that's why a lot of his stuff is gonna fall on his face because you can't legislate people, immigrants, migrants, etc. And then that's where you make your money through school. So people stop coming and they back, and that's how you hit his pockets. Somewhere it's going to happen, and when it does, that's going to hit hard. Well, America was built off of it. No, it's not because they make a mockery of the system. The system makes a mockery of what they get to do. So if you don't respect people, you use them, and they make a joke out of it. So people got a right to diss it because they know that it's there as a cash cow. It's kind of like a pimp to turn the trick. Come over to make the money, and you go about your business. It ain't nobody in love with it. Ain't no love with it because they know what they in store for. That's why. If you want some love, you got to treat people with respect. It starts with treating black people with respect. I'm just saying. So now, it's Max Kellerman a blowout. Come on now. Skip Bayless is a shock jock. That once upon a time he actually cared about some journalism. But once he got on Geraldo Rivera tip, and then he figured that he could make money trying to shock jock, he has some interesting thoughts and takes in some parts. But when he goes out of his way to shock jock, it just deflates him. Whereas Kellerman's gotten better and better. That's why they ran Kellerman off because he was actually doing some journalism 101. That's not that's not what they want. They want cats to play the dozens and simplify and stupefy what they do. So that's what we're at. I'm gonna use that for a future. I'm gonna use it for a future topic though. That's how much it's gone down. Because I'm gonna really go into it. Kellerman at first was just really good with boxing, and then he got, he was on around the horn, and he used to get on my nerves, but then he got better. Then when he started, he was good on baseball, but then the only thing where he got himself in trouble with me is when he kept saying that Tom Brady was going over the cliff. That's where he got in trouble. But then when he started making some real hidden takes, that's why Terrell Owens came out and defended him. Then and he got Stephen A. Smith all upset and cried out. So, but you know, so I ain't got no problem with him. I like him better. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, good question though. Good question. I like Kellerman better. But anyway, Charlene, nah, they don't have no love from within. So you create tension and you stereotype people. So people ain't dumb. They come over to use it for what it is. It would be amazing if it was actually united, but it's not. So it's been used as a way to kind of just, control situations. All right, feel free to ask some questions. Come on through. We got this live stream. Feel free to take this poll. I know there's more. My thing is how bad can it be if you're fighting to come here for me? It's used for cash. So, how do I say this? The way they treat people, the way they treat black people directly, that's what people see from afar. Okay? Can I get you to understand to see that the obviously racism and slavery, etc., is on a blatant level? Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. I couldn't let that one go by. See, if Dwight Howard had a head, and I know Pat Riley wanted to have a big, because he got there with Dwight Howard. I mean, he got there with Patrick Ewing, he got there with Shaq, obviously with Kareem. So he had to look at Dwight Howard and think, I can do something with him. You know, because obviously with Lonzo Mourning. So, but yeah, that bad year in 2011 caused him that. Yeah, and the whole thing with Spo, Pat Riley wasn't gonna fall that. So it's an interesting. Those Miami years will make a great 30 for 30 if the actual all these tidbits and stuff come out. What really went down for them 4 years, the tension. But they got the best out of LeBron James. I still say. It's like what you can tolerate, but you only come to the states to make money. That's what it's about. And people send their money back. That's what most do. But if they look at how they've been racially with black folks in the states, they ain't gonna want to be up around that. Not like that. Not if you, not from a human perspective. You're not going to be. Mm, it doesn't look good. Relations don't look good because you come to make money. Tell me you see people who are coming who are in the states and they see the George Floyd video and they can feel good about the country. Rodney King video and they can feel good about the country. Think about it. Just saying. Because it's clearly been a lot of racism and institutionalized systematic. So that's the reality. Okay, now let's get some more in here. Spo won two chips, and he's been to six finals. Two of them without LeBron. So Spo done proven that he's a he took Jimmy Butler and they went to the finals. He's a very good coach. This has probably been his toughest year. The whole thing with Jimmy Butler. Everything. What was the worst thing to be? Stupid. Because if you're poor, depends on how you define poor. Everybody's logic is different. Crazy, that's subjective. You can't be gone out your head. Ugly, hey, you got some money, you can look good. I seen it. But stupid, that's the worst one. You don't never want to be called stupid. You can deal with the other three. Poor, you can make $1 and feel good. Crazy, you can act like you're normal. And ugly, we fix you up with some clothes. But you stupid, you just gone. So that's the worst one. They're not that close either. So anyway, got that out the way. Feel free. Let's get some more questions. Let's see if we work on it. No, you're not. Because people that have wealth, and it depends on what you define as rich, depends on your attitude. So some people are nice, somebody are done with it. It depends. Who creates more problems? Poor creators. The logic is going to say poor because it's used as a it's used against you. Again, if you're crazy, they find a way to kind of downplay you. Something you're ugly, that's subjective and stupid in that regard. People like to take advantage of somebody like that. But poor is like used as a springboard, like a poster child for something. Okay, Jeter or Ripken, it's it's Ripken. Jeter was bad, but Ripken played all them games straight, and Ripken had Eddie Murray. Jeter had other great talent. Jeter had more to work with. I like them both though, for different reasons. But I think that Jeter won more rings and he gave you more. But I think if it was peak to peak, uh, I think Cal Ripken kind of moved me more. I do. He wasn't a bum to LeBron. Yeah, because a poor person. So we live in a country where about financial people look at your status, and they see that they'll think try to take advantage, and it is problematic because why do people want to take advantage of somebody? Whereas if someone's crazy or something, you just stay away from them, and if you think they're stupid, you run from it. You don't. But poor, it's rich or poor. Think about when you see people perceived as poor or homelessness. That's considered more problematic. That's something that you can't escape. He did because who's has been his owners? What did that man say, Dan Gilbert in Cleveland, about LeBron James when he left in 2010? He said he quit. He called him a quitter. Please, what has been LeBron James been built off? The white media, ESPN slobbers him, all these networks slobber him. What do you think that was about? He did. He is not this made guy without the help of the media agenda. Let's not get it twisted. Because if it wasn't for the media, they come after him about PEDs and other things. He get the Barry Bonds treatment. They don't come after him about stat padding and playing all this time. They got him covered. But when you're perceived as being poor, they think they get over you. Stupid has been accepted. And stupid is somehow rewarded. Elect presidents. Being considered poor, they look down. They think that you just are, it's a different standard. I'm just telling you, there's a different standard. Stupid is normal, accepted. I'm just saying. See, it is rewarded. Look who your president is. Do I need to say more? Look at the stuff that's going on. You answer your own questions with this one. It really is. They don't, they did build him. Yes. Stephen A. Smith went to school. He was with the Philadelphia Inquirer. I used to watch him back in the 90s, okay? Hold on just a second. And they paid his way. They put him in position. He come to Miami. He was told this is you're gonna learn how to win. So he did. He don't own nothing. So who pay him? What's he rolling off of? They built him. They build you in that league. They put money on who they want to put money on. That's a good question. Pete Carroll, Bill Cosby. That's a good question. That's another one I'm going to use for a later one. Let me use that one. Oh, that's a good one. Well, you got me on this one. I gotta say, yeah, he became an entertainer. Look at what he is now. Oh, there's other guys who came to the NBA at 18. Okay, he's not the first one. Okay, let me get this real quick. If I'm going to pick out I'm going to give it to Pete Carroll. That was a good one. I had to think for a moment because he did with what he was able to accomplish. Bill Cowher didn't have the long body of work. I would have liked to see Bill Cowher with another team. We never got that. At least in Pete Carroll's defense, with Seattle, and he isn't afraid to, but he got more out of what he did though. Because Ben Roethlisberger was a better quarterback than Russell Wilson, but Pete Carroll got more out of his situation. Takes your leftovers and makes it work. So LeBron James being in the NBA at 18 is supposed to act like he didn't have corporate sponsorship. That it wasn't fixed, that he wasn't going to play in Cleveland, and that they didn't have him go everywhere to by chance. He's been covered by the media. You don't get there. Let me tell you something. I don't care what you can be talented, but they put money on you. And being on first take, Tony Kornheiser was talking about it. They didn't really respect Skip Bayless. They knew what his angle was. Skip Bayless is doing the same stuff that Jim Rome and some of these cats do. It's shock jock. It's sports. That's kind of stuff that Howard Stern almost does. That's what's up. Because he wasn't expecting him to act like he was all rided up, which he did. No, he's not the best 18-year-old I've seen come in the league. He played great, but he wasn't that great because he didn't even make the All Star his first year. And it wasn't really to his second and third year that he started coming into his own. He didn't even develop a really good shot to his first 10. Okay, so tell the truth. Because when they played in the finals of 2013, Popovich was letting himself check shoot no shots. They weren't worried about his outside shot. He goes a lot to Steph Curry and working on his shot. He didn't even have an outside shot. So stop this nonsense. I think these LeBron trolls be cracking me up. He got a lot of sponsorship. He had corporate to do those commercials, the James commercials, all that stuff. Stephen A. spoke the truth. Yeah, because he didn't. He expects some dude to come at him all full steam, which was embarrassing and ridiculous on LeBron's part. When you're a professional, you're fair to get criticized. And LeBron did make it into a circus. Pushed his son out there. Did Skip do it? Did Skip build it? He had a hand in it. But what's the two biggest multi debate shows ever? Do tell me. Do tell me. How were they carried by him? And what Skip Bayless? Skip Bayless. Let me put it to you like this: he's a good shock jock. But if he was that good, well, how come he couldn't do it with others? What happened with the Paul Pierce show with Keyshawn and them? What happened to that mess? And where's Shannon Sharp's career gone back? What has happened with Shannon? You gonna tell me Shannon Sharp ain't surpassed Skip? Skip ain't never been bigger than no Shannon Sharp. Club Shay Shay alone stomps all over his night show with is he's got two shows that left Skip in the dust. What happened to Skip without him? Ain't got to do with no age. See, I don't know how old you are, and I don't want to, I want to keep things in perspective. I've seen this before. The thing about it is this: it ain't about you talking about carrying. Carrying what? Stephen A. does his show, but they've tried other shows with Stephen A. and it didn't do much. They tried. They've tried to give him other shows. He fits that format for first take, yes, but the other stuff didn't work. I'm gonna tell you a story. Bless his soul for how long he's been around, but he is. It's not his age. He just his stick fell off. He messed up. He tried to pull a Howard Cosell. Can you hear me or no? Is that better? Let me know. Well, you're going into a different tangent right here. Stick to the script because it's the bottom line. He benefited off of black men, especially off of Shannon Sharp, because that was supposed to be a joke, and then it turned into something that Shannon Sharp was a revelation, and Shannon Sharp turned into like a future version of Charles Barkley, football star, entertainment. So that hey, Skip couldn't hang. And he tried it again with Paul Pierce, who has some personality. Keyshawn didn't have no personality, and Richard Sherman was just loud. How that turned out, and then he bring in Little Wayne. So think about it. Michael Irvin too. They had what 4, and then none of them worked. Couldn't recapture the magic. He blew his golden opportunity. So let me tell you something about your 74-year-old man. He got shrunk down by running out Shannon Sharp. That backfired on him. So that was a bad look. It skipped and taking an L after Shannon Sharp. Well, he made a big faux pas. That's a huge faux pas. He could have been Johnny Carson, and Shannon could have been his Ed big man. They had a 1-2 punch. But when he started bad mouthing him and said, "You ain't got Tom Brady's career," he treated him like trash. So when Shannon was spoiled, bounced, it was it. Skip is part of the social media, though. This whole thing with him and Shannon Sharp happened the last 5 or 6 years. So I got to call cap on that one because people were watching them. It'd be you up here talking about like they show came out in the early '00s or before 2015. Skip and Shannon were on 2016 through the last couple of years ago. So they were on very much prime time social media because people watched it. It's just that Skip put his foot in his mouth and he made one of the worst blunders you ever could do. He that's why Fox didn't but they didn't throw him out the door, but they could have thrown him on his ear for letting Shannon Sharp walk. Cause he ain't gonna never hear the end of that. Now I got this thing that I usually say. It's kind of like you break up with a woman or some break up with somebody, and they go and get someone better. They get the and then you sitting there looking bad because you get someone, but it ain't what you had, and the grass is greener. And that's what happened. He didn't act like no victim. He got profiled by Skip. Skip came on national TV and he said you didn't have Tom Brady's career and basically said your career don't matter, even though Shannon's one of the greatest players ever. Everybody can't be Tom Brady, but to sit there and act like Shannon Sharp's career was chopped liver when he was a top five ever tight end, won three rings, was successful, he messed up. And then he happened to have a personality. Yeah, well, the thing is that hey, Woody Page, Woody Page, it's kind of like on the Jack Nicholson tip. But Skip was taking pointers and cues from Geraldo Rivera, Howard Cosell, and some others. That's who Stephen A. tries to pattern himself after. Shannon did get that thing with Shannon happened in 2010. Get your facts straight, and that was on the NFL Network. He came back, but Skip brought him along because they had cleared the decks. See, this is what you're not saying, and I don't appreciate it when people don't tell the truth. Because he was a black man who didn't get the same opportunity for a miscue, which he was accused of. It didn't happen. It's like when Michael Irvin had that false acquisition a couple years ago, and they ran him off the network, and then they finally brought him back last year. Okay, so tell the whole truth if you're gonna speak on it, because it was deeper. But Shannon was cleared. His life was good, but he wanted to be an analyst, so they teamed him up. And you could say he gave him a big opportunity, but he took advantage of it in a real way. But who messed it up? See, you sit up here stirring, but you ain't bringing the pot to stir properly. Who messed it up? Skip messed it up. Skip's big old mouth messed up. Cha-ching, and that's what happened. And that's why the seas parted. Nothing to be sorry about. You know what? Two things can be true. You were right. However, Skip messed up. And that's all I'm asking. They all come with baggage. Who don't come with baggage? But you see, it's those who know how to take advantage of the opportunity that are prosperous. I don't look at Michael Irvin. Listen, let me tell you something about him. He's one of the greatest receivers ever. The guy was a winner in college and pros. But um, second chances of what? Because he's not a top flight analyst. He's a dude that's used because of he's animated and he's entertaining. But for what? There was no second chance. But the bottom line is he didn't do nothing. I know what the woman alleged, but they cleared Shannon. As for Michael Irvin, he had more problematics than Shannon did. His was more problematic because it goes back to the 90s. And I remember the White House and the Dallas Cowboys and all that. But again, there's a lot of stuff that gets swept underneath the carpet. Shannon Sharp did not have the same situation as Michael Irvin. But what he got going for him is he had a personality. Michael Irvin is personable, but it's limited. Shannon Sharp had more personality. Hey, look, yes, I do. He was the straw that stirred that Cowboys juice. He was that dude. Now Skip Bayless got him number one over Jerry Rice, which I can't agree with. But I'll say this: he was a gamer. He was a gamer. He was tough. He was tough. And they should have retired his number in Dallas because Dez Bryant and CeeDee Lamb ain't got no business wearing it. If Drew Pearson didn't get his 88, you should have definitely retired Mike Irvin. He's on top right now without Skip because let me tell you a story. If you've got personality, somebody gonna find you, especially if you're in that network. Look at Charles Barkley, and he can't stand Skip. Sterling Sharp was a lot better. It's just that Sterling got hurt. I'm not gonna argue that point. I saw Sterling and he was a better player. Yes, I'll give you that. But Sterling got hurt and we'll never know. He could have been right there with Irvin and Jerry Rice and whoever you want to put as your top receivers easily. Oh yeah, that's already in the Hall of Fame. What are you asking? He's already been in. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. College and the pros. The only knock against Irvin is in. No, he wasn't. He had done NFL Today. He was on. He was getting what I call the chitlin circuit broadcasting. He was getting on, but he didn't have the kind of platform. Let me say this to you again. They do a thorough investigation. They check you out. They put people up to see where you fit. So when Shannon Sharp came up there, they put him up with Skip. He got fired from the job, but he was cleared to come back with Skip. Let me tell you something. If you get white ball, you don't get to come back. They got wait, but they bring you back slowly in different capacity. This guy has a personality. Okay, you just don't want to give it up to him. You got it is embarrassing because you're a grown man and you're playing professional ball, and you can't sit up there and tell a journalist not to report what he actually sees. That's just crackhead and dumb. It is embarrassing. I don't understand how anybody can justify it any other way. I mean, you're the 55th pick. They tell other teams don't draft him. He gets a 3 year guaranteed contract, and the guy is not really pro ready. It's like they have to subtly put him in to make it look like it's real. It's embarrassing. It makes the league look like a joke. But if you tell the truth, you're against LeBron. You're like wrong with you. Even though I've seen other stories of guys coming in the league and they didn't look good. How do you know this? Do you not realize? Yes, Skip got him up to the light, but let me tell you a story. Fox still had to green light him. Fox still had to say he was fit. They have to go through personnel. Do you understand how TV works? Do you understand how entertainment business works? Marbury for me, but I love B Diddy a whole lot. I was a big Baron Davis fan. Baron was tight, but Step Marbury. Because Marbury was 20 and 8. He could shoot, score, do all that. Marbury to me was in another light. He would have been almost as heralded as Allen Iverson. Baron was tough, and I like the way he played. But I think you can get more out of Stephon Marbury. I like Starberry. Like them both a lot, but I gotta go with Bird. Like Starberry more for me. If he had his head on straight in some situations, history would have painted him differently. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I liked him a lot. No, I don't see it like you, because Stephen A. was already a journalist, which I saw back in the '90s. So he wasn't like somebody that they just team up on the show. It wasn't nothing like that. The best show that was on Fox Sports, that's where Stephen A. was a beat writer with Chris Rose and John Sally and them. So he was around before Skip. He had already had a stint. They just got him over to ESPN. He was already a staff writer. And you can't teach personality. You the guy or you don't. Shannon happens to have charisma on the screen. It's like Charles Barkley had charisma on the screen. Everybody ain't got it like that. Carried. to no superstar because Skip got let go before Stephen A. exploded. And Stephen A. really didn't really explode. He still hasn't. He's liked for reasons that don't even have much to do with journalism. Because he ain't do much. I'm supposed to say, oh, the great white guy is the one that saved it and paved the way, and it wouldn't see. And this is insulting to me because I can tell you a couple of guys who run circles around Skip Bayless's on that network. Lots of them, and they were black too, by the way. The late great Ralph Wiley, for one, was a real journalist. You need to look him up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Stuart Scott had more personality, both. He didn't explode on there with on no first take. Because if he had exploded, he never would Skip would never been let go. Tell the truth. And Skip was not. Let me tell you this: the duo that was most respected on ESPN was Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilborn. Pardon the interruption. So do your math. Get your math. Well, Stephen A. does that with ESPN already. So what's your point? I don't think he will. I don't think he will. And Skip's podcast, no one cares about. Not like that. Shannon's podcast is astronomical. Now, you want to talk about someone who has a big podcast? Shannon Sharp. Club Shay Shay alone. Skip ain't never seen them numbers. That's why I wouldn't even waste my time when you up here running your mouth about how great Skip Bayless is when, you know, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. There's a lot of people who don't. Some people who watch ESPN think, pardon the interruption, is better. He's not gonna stand on no business because he's got to answer to his bosses. If you know anything about Stephen A, he's not gonna sit there and. But that's why LeBron stepped to him because he wouldn't do that to Skip Bayless. He wouldn't do that to a Dan Patrick of them. I'm just gonna keep it 100. So you say, so you say, but I don't think so because Shannon was quite doing well for himself. It just took him to another level. But he was a Hall of Famer. Okay, let's show the man some respect because you know you're dissing him like he was like some third string guy who was lucky to make the team on the Broncos. I don't quite think so. I don't like your drift because your drift sounds kind of loaded to me. He was a Hall of Famer, considered one of the best. That carries weight. Super Bowl winning player. That's not exactly selling hot dogs and programs. Okay, you getting him mixed up with Brock Oswald or maybe Tim Tebow or somebody that was a buster. Guys that had Shannon Sharp's resume already been there. I don't mind when people are trying to fire me up and they think they getting some digs in because that's all this is about. You're not really trying to have a real discussion. You're just trying to hype up Skip. You know, like I said, the man is one considered one of the greatest tight ends, Hall of Famer. You get in the Hall of Fame, and he was a low draft pick. So do your homework before you talk about him. Dwayne Wade, because aside from being a great scorer, what else does Durant got going for him? Dwayne Wade carried teams. Dwayne Wade was front and center. Durant is still trying to get back on the pillow to the post. This mess in Phoenix, that mess in Brooklyn. And it's a messy situation. He considered one of the five greatest tight ends ever. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So stick to your script. You can get into it about the journalist part. You can't talk about the football part. That's the fine line. And you came here to try to tear him down. The man earned his keep as a player. And I don't think if you had any respect or know anything about football, Cook and win. Not in the finals, he didn't. I'll put Dwayne Wade's career over KD because right now KD is chasing what? Stats aside from scoring, what else does KD got going for him? What's he got going for him? Cooking who? The longer he plays, the worse he looks. He's now with a team that is not better aside from scoring. What else? He wasn't a better defender than D Wade. D Wade was a better defender. Oh, and D Wade is more closer to Jordan and Kobe in terms of the greatest two guards. Kevin Durant is not in the same conversation with Larry Bird, Dr. J, and LeBron. He could have been. And if he had a one in Brooklyn or win in Phoenix, he's just right now he just like he's stat packed. And what has it done for him though? Yeah, he got one league MVP, two finals. He got one more finals MVP than Wade. And what else? Aside from scoring, what else he got? What else? He left Russell Westbrook, got with Steph Curry, and he hasn't achieved the half of any more of his career. Injury prone, crying, aching, and begging. What's he got going for him? He was great, but he fallen off. And if you don't get out the house much, because you don't see people are not talking about him no more. They clowning him. I said a great score. What else? What else? Talk to most people. Kevin Durant is falling. And this situation with Phoenix is a bad look. But I see you're contrarian because every time I say something, you gotta go. This is not even up for discussion. I answered the question that I based it on facts. Dwayne Wade was a better leader. Because once you get off the romanticism, and what does that mean? What does a league MVP mean exactly? Is James Harden better than Dwayne Wade? One more Finals MVP, and look at who he played with. Bring you ain't bringing no facts. Give Dwayne Wade, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson too, and see what he got. What has Durant done without that though? And he didn't try this formula how many times? He had Russell Westbrook and a young James Harden in OKC. Then after Golden State, he had what? Kyrie Irving, James Harden. Now he's got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Well, I mean, what chance he getting? He had Dwight Howard. He didn't do nothing. He gagged in the postseason. We don't even gonna talk about this. Let's stick to the script. We sticking to Durant and Wade. Harden ain't done nothing in the postseason. Not since he was a six man off the bench with OKC. He's a second round tank job. That's what he is. He ain't do nothing. His stats were great, and he flirted like he was something. Uh, Let me get your educate you on this one. Wade was the best player on that 2011 team. LeBron was horrible in that series. And Dirk Nowitzki is a great player. But that put that on all of them, all three of them, but especially LeBron, because the three quarters and missing a quarter in the fourth jokes were real back in 2011. I'm not gonna sit here and do revisionist history, and I do kind of hold Wade because Wade was the best player on that championship team. They got to hustle and I worked, but I do. LeBron was horrible in that series, but you act like Kevin Durant has been like great wherever he's gone. He incomplete in Brooklyn and horrible in Phoenix. Stats. Let's take the stats out. What has he done? it's a kind of a loaded thing to say because they all serious. They mean different things. So I don't really want to. That's kind of not. That's the kind of question that you're asking. They all serious, and they carry different situations, and it can happen in any capacity and time in your life too. So they all serious. I'm not gonna pick a one on that one because they all serious. Sometimes people are born that way. Some people start that way. So they all have deep connotation. Yeah, that's all I've been saying. This all this narrative about Durant. Durant's legacy is he's not looking good right now. And you know he gonna get traded. Wasted that time in Phoenix. Not with how fragile he is, because he just doesn't. And it's a shame too. He is one of the greatest pure scorers I've ever seen. But his it's who came to Miami, and let me tell you something. Wade won that finals in 2006. Shaq was there, but Wade was the dude. Wade was better than LeBron for a window. For a window. And what has LeBron done without a Wade and Bosh and Kyrie Irving and Love and Anthony Davis? What has he done? Hmm? If Skip made Stephen A, then how come he can't make another one? I'm gonna tell you like Jay Z said to Damon Dash, you made one, make another one. He ain't make nobody. And he's not even a dominant scorer in an era where don't play defense either. That's the sad part. So people cracking me up. What's up, DP? How you doing? Glad to have you on tonight. It's live in here. He didn't make him. He didn't make him. You acting like he's some kind of slinger that he got this. If he had this magic wand, how come he ain't got no job? If he's such a hotbed, how come they let him go? Hmm. He made a contribution, but you see, when you say you made somebody, you almost acting like you some kind of boss, which you're not. You providing a platform. What's happening? How you doing? I'm doing good, doing good. Good to see you up in here. No. What would you say that? He's actually underrated because the Knicks had a good record and they ran him out. He did good in Atlanta. I think he's underrated. He didn't get a chance. Yeah, but I don't know. See, he could score, but what kind of player would he have been? And he would have been just shooting threes. I don't know what he'd have been like. Still wouldn't have done no justice for his career because he would have had to do a lot more than what he did. So I don't know. Well, I can't compare a father. A father and a son is different than two people because when you say you got to do the other thing, but see this is the business. Ah, this sounds very loaded. Brash. Stephen A. is not brash. That's where you're wrong. I'm not gonna keep getting to these discussions. He works for a corporate and they corporation and they do handout. Reggie was tough, but Reggie was a one dimensional player too. I give him his due. He could score and he could shoot, but it wasn't like you know. was a better version of Reggie. And Ray Allen actually thrived more. I respect what Reggie could do. If they don't put money on LeBron James and they don't buy into him, he doesn't go where he goes. It's not no hate, it's a fact. Every NBA superstar, they have to have money put on 'em. Well, it's not just on your play, but it's how long you stay. They invest in you. That's a fact. You can't, I don't care who it is. And LeBron knows that too. That's why he's in La La Land. You think he just imagine just say, hey, come to LA and play without that stuff being that was done calculated. All the moves are calculated. Because if it was just like, oh, I can do what I want, he would be playing in Memphis. Well, that's a no brainer for me. He got ran out of New York. And he was good in Atlanta too. I remember what he did as a coach. I get the feeling that I I really don't even want to go what I want to say. Because if I said what I want to say, I'd be in trouble with these YouTube streets. But it sounds kind of loaded to me. So you just want to stir some stuff up, and it's not even a balance act because Shannon is bigger than Stephen A. and Skip as a personality. Thank you so much. Glad to have you tonight. Thank you. It's not even the same discussion. See, it's one thing if you having a discussion when you talking about where they Shannon's thing is completely different. And Stephen A's situation was completely different because he was actually a journalist major. Shannon's a former athlete. Big difference for how they hit into the marketplace. But I guess you'll be the same person that thinks Ernie Johnson put Charles Barkley on his shoulder and say, hey, I can blow you up. I'm sure you'll say that in logic too, which would be wrong. You gotta have personality to sell to the networks. You gotta have a personality. Along with your resume, you gotta have a personality. So there's a lot more that goes on than just because, oh, you know. So appreciate you, Bill Arthur. Thank you for being a real one and having conversation. Appreciate you. See, I see where this is going. Start saying stuff, and that's where this is going. Can't stick to a priest's opinion and can't have a conversation. But anyway, some people have differences of opinion. That's all. He's your goat, not mine. I really don't pay him a lot of attention, and he doesn't get that kind of hype from other so-called journalists either. Not like that. They respect his success, but they don't sit around and they're not growling at him. I don't know what that means. What you mean asking about his name? I don't even get into that. Are you asking me about Skip Bayless personally? Because I don't understand your question. So far, the poll is 50-50, so that's good. I like that part. And I appreciate all the people's coming from views and everything, so thank you. It's got nice and fired up in here. Got some real good feedback. I like it. The responses. If that's what you want to call it, that he tried to. He's a joke. And that I'm going to defend Steven Adams up against. Mason is a joke. Yeah, and he got no NBA talent. Third tier center, journeyman, and an insult to journeyman. And their team sucks. Don't play no defense. Don't stop nobody. So this is what it comes down to. It's embarrassing. Mason is embarrassing. 20 years, 20 teams. What's your point? But I did do a video about it because I thought he was hilarious, and I do. Not really. Not really. Thank you. Thank you for that about Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri got a lot of nerve talking about, especially in that industry. Um, I don't know how anybody can get excited about Mason Plumlee because he got a no career. He been around how long? Pseudo tough guy. Wow, yeah. Yeah, he's really scaring people. Devin Booker had this look on his face when he got thrown out last night that said, "This is what I got to play with. This is how bad it's gotten." Mike Budenholzer don't have no control over his team, and you got a guy acting like a studio thug. Real nice. Taking down Sabonis. And impressive how? As a journeyman, because he's a body that's supposed to be rewarded. No one talks about his no career having self. That's nothing to get excited about. Are you suppressed with that? Because that's all he can do? Because Steven Adams is a better player than him. That's all he could do. Because they can't play no defense. They suck. They're overrated, underachieving team, and I'm supposed to be excited because he took the guy out, even though it's not football, and this is what you reward. You got a head coach who's a championship coach. You got a player in Kevin Durant won championship, and you got Devin Booker who was a run up in the finals, and this is what we succumb to. This is what you're getting excited about. A team on paper that Bradley Beal used to average like 29, 30 points a game, and he says, this is what you got to show for. It's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. People ain't got no standards no more. There's nothing to justify with that. That's embarrassing. Plumlee getting thrown out back to back games. He's not about that life. He's a clown. Uh, at least with Skip Bayless, he actually does what he do, and I actually know who he is. No one knows about no Plumlee. You see a pattern. The pattern you see is like what you were trying to say about Skip. I don't like him, but that's a different entity. I didn't say I didn't respect him because I do think that he um, is good, but not like they make him out to be. At least Skip Bayless actually had a career. Plumlee ain't got no career, and I don't get excited about no bums. Rick Carlisle and Doc Rivers is Rick Carlisle because Rick Carlisle they got the same amount of rings, and Rick Carlisle has done a better job with what he's had. Doc Rivers then had. Oh, and so if you think you know me, this is gonna show you, shock you right here. Doc Rivers is one of the most overrated coaches ever. Cause that Boston trips aside, he choked with the Clippers, he choked with the Sixers, and he's making Milwaukee look chokeable. So there you go. I didn't say Eminem was a bum. I said Plumlee's a bum, but Eminem is not high on my list, and I'm entitled to that. And if you're coming on my stream and you don't like it, you can leave. I'm not big on. I just said Doc is one of the most overrated coaches, if you bother listening. He's won a ring, but considering what he's left on the table, he's overrated. That's what happened with the Clippers. Um, Steve Kerr's all right. He's lucky. He's good, but he's lucky. He's good, but he's lucky. Because if this Jimmy Butler thing doesn't work out, I mean, he's very lucky. He's good, but he's lucky. That's all I'm gonna say about Steve Kerr. I like Kerr personally, what he overcame with his father. That's he's a good coach, but I don't know about how great he is because I don't think there's gonna be much to him without Curry. But like Eric Spoelstra can coach. See, I can see somebody that can coach up with whatever they got. I don't know about Kerr. I seen Popovich coach up. I seen some guys who can coach up. Depends on what kind of coaching we're talking about. That's a whole different argument. Like Larry Brown can coach up. Pat Riley can coach up. Phil Jackson could coach up. Steve Kerr has won, but I want to see what the next chapter would be like. I saw it with Phil, and I saw it with Pat, and I saw it with Pop. So we'll see. He's had a really good, great success. I think he's good. Okay. Anyway, it's been some interesting. In football, I'm entitled to my opinions about stuff. Everybody ain't got to agree with stuff, but we all have opinions about stuff. More effective how? The league was ran. Wait, what you mean make it more effective? That don't even make no sense. That I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. They added the 3 point line because they got it from the ABA. Depends on what you mean by effective. You talking about outside shooting? Hmm. Can they win? They got a on paper. They got a good squad. Can they beat the Dodgers? Can they beat the Dodgers? We will see. We will see. We're gonna find out once baseball starts. I'm looking forward to it. Soto's gonna be big, but I'm gonna see what they got because that's what they're gearing for is to go against the Dodgers. Um, White players were already effective. A guy like Rick Barry missed out on having a 3 point line. He would have been scary with the 3 point line, but it was a different era though, and it didn't really matter that much back then. Let me address this real quick. The 3 point line really wasn't considered that end all be all. If you must really get into it, it's been the last decade. Curry made that thing more deadly. So to answer your question, no, because it really wasn't like that in the '80s. Guys didn't shoot like that, and they looked at you crazy. But they've had more centers, if that's what you're trying to get insinuate. But no, you had white players that were bad in the box too. Jack Sigma was no slouch. Tom Chambers was no slouch. Bird McHale was no slouch. So now the Mets got a good chance. Got to stay healthy. Got to stay focused. See what they do on opening day, and you'll know early. I don't know. it's kind of a loaded comment to say that because there was no NBA was so different back then. If you could play, you could play. I mean, Pistol Pete could flat out play. So I don't understand this word usage of trying to say this, talking like this, because it didn't really have that connotation. Yeah, I know, but I don't know if that's gonna make a difference though. But it's a biggie. We'll see. What's that supposed to mean? Yeah, I saw. I mean, Soto was gonna go. He was leaving the Yankees anyway. I am a Yankee fan, but I knew he didn't fit, and I knew he wasn't gonna do. Um, the 3 point line wasn't really relevant like that. You 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 know. What about Nickelodeon? What's your question and point? That's debatable. That's debatable. There's a lot of them. 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 Some might say Nick Cannon might be the wackest. There's a lot of them corny. Yeah. Magoo was a broke version of Q-Tip. Will is not whack. Will can rap. He just do corny songs. He can rap. You ain't really listened to brand new funk, and he is good. Will got bars. It's just that he chose to do safe, squeaky, middle of the road, cheesy stuff. Skill set is legit. Will Smith is probably one of the 50 greatest rappers ever. It's just that that material he put out was corny, karaoke-ish, not his skill set. Magoo with Tim was basically a broke Q-tip. Nick is corny though. Oh, you tripping. Twister could spit. You just couldn't understand it. Twister was nice. Speed rapping, come on, now how you gonna sit there and say that? Twister could flow. Then I guess you'll probably say Ludacris is whack, Missy's whack. You probably say Buster's whack. Twister got skills. And you don't know if you know anything about Chicago rap, TikTok, what's a do or die. Them cats rap like that. You ain't never been to a party like this. You ain't never seen anything green like this. You ain't never. I understand what he's saying. No, I said if you say Twister's whack, you gonna say Missy's whack because she speed raps, energy bar rap. That's what Luda does. I'm saying, Charlene, if someone says about Twister, you're gonna say that about Missy because they rap like that. They speed rappers. They don't rap slow, monotone. They got bars when they go. You ain't never been like that. People ain't. That's old school hip hop actually, not the stop and start, speak and spell hip hop they did. There was different ways of doing it. Oh, see, it's about almost time for me to go now. I definitely know I gotta get ready to go now. Eve had a nice flow, but she didn't really pursue it because she wanted to get into modeling and movies and TV. So she was good for her time. But Missy was a better MC though, as far as MCing go. But I'll take MC Light over both of them put together. I'm Twister could spit bars. I know what he was doing. And there's a lot of them cats in Chicago that rap like that. That's back when you had your identity from where you were. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I like Lil Kim. I don't look at Eve was more better. She was good. I'm gonna say she was better. I like Lil Kim. All about the Benjamins and everything she did. She had a nice flow. Biggie and her, Biggie wrote a lot of her a lot of Ghost wrote a lot of her stuff, but she could spit though. She could spit bars. She had bars. I'm gonna go in a couple minutes anyway though. This has been really live though. It's called a life, and we're running. way, it's called I Got a Life. I sure hope that you got one too, because you know, smart and got a lot of remarks. And I'm in a decent mood, so you didn't quite offend enough, but it was borderline. I tend to like to have more Q&A conversations, kind of like what we had with others. And sometimes I'm in the mood to humor people, so it makes a good stream. Just goes to show I wasn't being hostile. If you want to think you did, but I gotta wonder about anybody that tries to hype up Skip Bayless, which is comical to me. He's at one of his lowest points right now. This whole thing with Joy Taylor. Oh man, here you coming now, right when I'm getting ready to roll. I'll give you 5 more minutes, Ted. What's up? Because I do gotta go. But what's up? No, he should have been. Well, they two different point guards, but Kyrie was more clutch. CP3 had a chance to be, and he might be considered bad. Now this is interesting. Kyrie's got more talent. CP3 seemed more composed, but it never got to where it's supposed to. Oh, she's a hard 304, a hardcore. And if she was a money maker, a real money maker, this thing would never came to pass. Oh man, I'm sorry about that, man. Yeah, because I was on for like about an hour and a half ago, and I am coming on about yeah. If you take an hour and a half from your time right now, that's usually when I come on. I just never know when these things are gonna go through with the tube. But I'm glad to see you though. Yeah, I'm on for about 3 more minutes. I'm back on tomorrow though. Glad you came back. The Rockies. The Rockies. Nobody wants to go to Colorado. Larry Walker ain't coming back through that door. Where's Rick Pitino when I need him? The Rockies? Please. Well, the Dodgers got the best talent though. I ain't mad with the Dodgers. I am not mad. I got two. I'm gonna be here for 3 more minutes before I go. I'm not mad at the Dodgers. Not at all. They got a great manager, and you know you get Shohei. What can I say? Mookie Betts. What you want me to say? No, they didn't. And when they did get cast that were older, they weren't getting guys that anybody want. Nobody was breaking in into Canseco, Daryl Strawberry, and Dwight Gooden in 1995. Now, David Cohn was a good pickup. They got Clemens when he was actually about a few years, but they didn't get. It wasn't until the '00s when they got Ryde and they got Sheffield, but they didn't win that year either. So hey, but getting guys like Tino Martinez and Paul O'Neill, nobody was breaking the net to get Scott Brocious and that. So you're right. But I'm not mad at the Dodgers or nobody. I mean, it's fair market. The Dodgers make the right moves, and if you can win, you win. Getting Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani is just smart business, yo. No, I'm not really. I think she should have gotten an opportunity because of this mess we got now. But no, I don't think neither one of them deserve to be in there personally. I mean, I think she should have gotten an opportunity, but I'm not impressed with nobody in politics. I'm about reparations, so I don't really feel none of them. But she's better than the mess that they got now. So, because this train wreck that's going on now, a lot of folks already saw it coming, and that's all. Different topic, different day. She all right. She all right. She's all right. he's going to. Well, most people see that's not even so much a wake up call. It's just that some people just don't know him, and so before he gets offended, he looked like a football cat. He looked like he looked like he's a coordinator, which he did. So I don't know how you get I don't know how he get mad when he looked like he played. He do big boy. I don't take everything Rolly says. Sometimes he get blown out, but he do like he like he could be like Eric B. Enemy's cousin, and he does with it. How is what a bad thing? I'm not saying anything bad about what Roland was just saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I've seen his drip. Most of the time he wears those like the college, like the sweatshirts and all that. So that's how he dresses. But I only see that because he always wears that logo alpha coat. Okay, I guess I'll do a video about that. Kind of a dinky move if you ask me though. But I'll do a video about it. Man, look, if he wants to play, he'll play for anybody. Cooper Cook going to Seattle. I don't know what to make of what Seattle's doing though. Because Sam Darnold, Cooper Cup. I don't know what to make of that. And then they got old boy Demarcus Lawrence from. I don't know. I don't know. It's a good move though. It's a good move. I like Cooper, but I don't think that's the best position place he could have gone to win. I'm just saying. But you heard what I said about T. Higgins though. If he goes free agent, the 49ers, that's what I heard. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think unless he. You got to be very very. If you're Pittsburgh and Minnesota, why would you go after him? Especially if you're Minnesota. I just don't think anybody's gonna take that chance. I don't. I could be wrong. Listen, man, Russell is done. Okay, and I saw the best of Russell, and that ended about 6 years ago. Okay, just keeping it 100. Anything after 2018, he been stat padding. Yeah, ever since him and Sierra, she's been trying to hype him up. His game is done. It's done. It's done. I remember when he was good. I remember when he came up big, but after that Super Bowl, he had that game against Minnesota, and he saved them in that playoff game. But that's it. He's done, and it looks bad. It looks bad. The mess in Denver was, Russell's career is kind of like Durant's in a way, because after that blown Super Bowl, then you go out to Denver and now Pittsburgh. What are you chasing? Just saying. It's not as talented as Durant, but similar in the fact he had it good, he got taken away, and now he's just chasing ghosts. So I'm gonna send my notification out to you early tomorrow because I'll be on early tomorrow. And I want to do this again where we can really chop it up. Thanks for the Cooper Cup update. I would say that, but they're not going to say that. But 7-6 in the postseason tells me that's how I feel. And they still ain't really addressed the defense. I mean, Bosa is nice if he's healthy. That's a big question mark. But till they learn how to stop the run and some better help with the secondary, they're gonna keep because now you done lost to Kansas City 4 different ways. So I don't know how you're gonna get. I don't know. They only know one way with Josh to play, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's something to me. I still say you need a superstar. You got to know how the right coach to coach that kind of talent. So that's how I feel. I say that about Kyle Shanahan. You win or you go. Well, they don't do nothing for Burrow on defense at all. If Burrow had any kind of defense, he wins a Super Bowl. But Josh Allen doesn't get top tier talent either. I'm sorry, getting Von Miller at 82 and Joey Bosa at 58 ain't exactly. You need to go out and try to get a Michael Parsons or get somebody that's a real fish. They're not doing them no favors. They keep losing in the same way, getting beat up the gut. The only reason why that was politics because they didn't want to give it to Lamar Jackson. That's all that was. You lose up the gut. And if Baltimore was half as smart as they act like they are, they would have exposed the Bills' fraudulent front. That's why I was like, Baltimore sucked. Should have beat the Bills. But you know, I'm just saying, bad coaching is bad. Anyway, I do got to get ready to roll, but I will be back on tomorrow. Let's do this. And thank you for the Cooper Cup update. Uh, Trade him to where? Where you gonna trade him to? And if you trade him, you better get somebody that is worthy. Where you gonna trade him? You want trade him to Dallas, and then you get Micah Parsons, and you get C.D. Lamb. Okay, I'll give you that. There you go. That's your hot take. But you don't trade him in your same division. You got to trade him to somewhere else. So where else you gonna trade him? So you got to think about that. And he's injury prone now. His juices are starting to loosen. So he may not be as worth as much as he was. I'd give you that if this was about 2 years ago. He injury prone now. He's starting to come into the shoot, but he's starting to, Say that one for tomorrow though. Let's talk about that one though. For who? For who? They ain't got nobody for that. He wouldn't fit in Kansas City. He wouldn't fit in Kansas City. He wouldn't fit in Kansas City. He'd be interesting with the Chargers. He'd be interested in Miami, but they're not gonna do that though. And he's injury prone now too, and you know how running backs go. All right, I'm gonna get ready to roll though. Let's do this tomorrow. Look out for my notes tomorrow. Peace, safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. It's not gonna happen. Running backs don't generate that kind of heat, especially when a guy's been injury prone and he's been hurt lately. I think it's gonna be hard to get the best out of him. All right, I'm out. Peace.